Now that was a great lesson. All right, we haven't started. Hello, boys and girls. Welcome. I'm Renita Dindial. Our lesson for today is irony. At the beginning of the lesson, I mentioned that was a great lesson today, but we have not started today's lesson as yet. That is precisely what being ironic is. What is irony? Irony is a literary technique. Irony is a rhetorical device. It was originally used in Greek tragedy, and it is an event in which the opposite of what is expected happens. There are three types of irony: verbal irony, situational irony, and dramatic irony. What is verbal irony? Verbal irony is at work when the literal meaning of what someone says is opposite to what they actually mean. Like the example given at the beginning of today's lesson. Here is another example. Amidst a raging storm, someone remarks, "What lovely weather we're having." Or, after spilling her morning coffee on her white blouse, Lisa remarks, "Oh wow, the day couldn't have had a better start." Now, in both examples, the tone and the attitude are different. "Great job! What excellence! Oh, you did great!" Compliments, right? Well, maybe, depending on the attitude and tone of voice behind these lines. They may very well be compliments. They may also be pointed and attacking lines. This slight attitude behind the lines is what we call verbal irony. So when someone says, "Great job," it is quite possible that they are being literal, providing that they are referring to your recent success. However, if you had just failed at something miserably when the person says, "Great job," the tone and attitude in this statement comes across as sarcasm because of the harsh undertone and the fact that it sounds as if the person is mocking you. This statement is also ironic because what the person says is the exact opposite of what he means, because we all know that you have just miserably failed and this person is actually congratulating you, saying, "Great job." Situational irony. Situational irony occurs when what actually happens is the opposite of what is expected. Example: a fire station destroyed by fire, or a police station being robbed. Now, why are these examples ironic? A fire station is there to protect us in case of a fire. The purpose of all the equipment inside of a fire station is to safeguard against a fire and to help in firefighting. Hence, the eventuality of a fire station being on fire is ironical. Similarly, the police are there to protect us from crime. So in such a case where they themselves are at risk, it is ironical. It is important for us to note that a situation is only ironic if what happens is exactly the opposite of what is expected. If you expect A and B happens, then the situation is ironic. Dramatic irony. Dramatic irony occurs when the reader understands more about the events of a story than a character within that story. Dramatic irony is when the audience seems to have more information about what is happening within the movie, the show, or the book. The audience, in other words, is let in on a secret that the other characters may have missed or they were not privy to. This is a great storytelling device. It creates tremendous emotion within a text. Think about it for a moment. How does it feel when in a horror film you know that the scary villain is hiding behind that door in the dark room? The music becomes eerie. The lighting creates complete shadows. This has to be bad for the hero. But of course, though, the hero has to enter that room to find the villain. You feel tremendous tension knowing that someone will jump out and be scary, but you just don't know when. That tension is dramatic irony. You know something more than the characters in the film. Now take the typical comedy. There would probably be some type of misunderstanding again, where we all know more of what is going on than the characters in the comedy. Picture this. Two characters planning a surprise birthday party for their friend. And the friend is on the corridor, overhearing all their plans. What do you think will happen for the rest of that show? Yes, utter confusion between the two friends trying to keep this a secret when the friend whose birthday is being celebrated, he tries to go with the flow so that the two friends do not recognize they were busted. You know, as the audience, you will sit and laugh. Why? Because you know that he knows, but they don't know that he knows. And that is specifically what dramatic irony within a comedy is like. Here is an example of dramatic irony in writing. In the short story Backfire, Buella, the shoplifter, was robbed by a pickpocket. Do you remember that? Have you read that short story? If you have not, I encourage you to go and do so. The title of the book is Backfire, and the name of the story is Backfire. Do enjoy the irony in that story. Remember, verbal irony has a lot to do with the person's tone. Situational irony is when you expect one thing, but the exact opposite happens. And dramatic irony is when you, the reader or audience, you know more about a character, an event, or what is happening within the piece than the other characters. Think about a recent discovery you made of something which has been happening in your life. Some of the situations for which you have exclusive information. Life is ironic, isn't it? I hope you use today's lesson to help you recognize when someone is being ironic with you. To do so, you simply need to listen to their tone and you will get the attitude behind their statement. Thank you for joining us for today's lesson on irony. I hope to see you next time. This is Miss Renita Dindial saying goodbye.